Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being there. Once again, Maongozi TV welcomes you all, and we're very happy today to bring you to Phoenix, Arizona, United States of America, and we're very happy to have our guest. Hi, Ma'am.
Hi, thank you for having me.
How are you today?
So far, so good.
Great, great. Would you please introduce yourself to the people who are listening to Maongozi TV?
Yes, my name is Jeanne F. Nizigiyimana. I'm from originally Burundi, and I've been in the United States for over 20 years. It has been exactly 22 years since I migrated here, straight to Phoenix, Arizona.
Great, great. Would you share with the people who are listening to us your journey from Burundi to Arizona?
My journey has not been that easy. The journey was very traumatic because it was during the war when I escaped in 1994, following the assassination of our first civilian elected president, Ndadaye Melchior. I ended up in Burkina Faso in 1994, where I was struggling with a new life as a refugee there. However, I didn't give up. I did go to school, finish my engineering degree in animal husbandry, as well as my master's degree in rural development. Then I got an opportunity to come here to United States, where we start afresh. And since then we've been happy. We've raised 4 biological children, and we are also raising foster children. There are 3. They have lived in Tanzania before coming to America, those 3 additional children. So it's a pleasure to raising children in the United States, given that it's a country of opportunities.
Right, right. Being a refugee is never easy. You spent years, 4 years if I understood, in Burkina Faso. Would you tell us a little bit about your life? I understand that you studied in Burkina Faso, but it wasn't easy, I could tell.
It was not easy at all. One of the tragic moments I remember was when one of my children got very, very sick, and I had to put aside the schooling and be at his bedside because he had to be hospitalized. For those who don't know Burkina Faso, especially West African countries, malaria is called paludism, and it's very, 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 it's a very painful disease that you go through. In addition, that's where, when I was experiencing cases of meningitis that we didn't have before in Burundi when I left at that time. So my son was very sick. He had meningitis, and they had to do a treatment where they had to do through the spinal cord, and it was very, very painful. I saw him suffering. They almost said he was going to die, and I was alone there without help, and then I had another small child at home with no family members. You can imagine what that could be. I remember being very, very stressed out. I became depressed, and to the point that I almost lost it. It was just by the grace of God that I kept on going, because I remember I lost so much weight, not only because I was depressed, but sometimes we wouldn't even always have something to eat. All of that was happening, but I knew that things had to change. I could have dropped out of school, but when I was lucky to have my son, healed, and we got out of the hospital, I resumed immediately my schooling, and I worked hard, really hard, because my goal was so I could get through this, change my life.
Great.
It wasn't easy, but thanks God we are where we are now.
You made it.
Yes, thank
Wow.
you.
And after all that, time came and you had to leave Burkina Faso to the United States of America.
Yes.
Could you share your 22 years in summary? I know you can't talk about it all, but would you summarize to people who are following us your 22 years in the United States of America?
My 22 years here have been marked by my commitment to transform the lives of refugees, starting with Burundians, who were my fellow refugees. They started resettling into it in the end of '98 when we came. That the first small group. Then in 2000 there was a big cohort of refugees coming from Mukugwa camp, and then and Citoyen, who is now the photographer at this moment, was among the cohort that came in 2000. Then we started helping them, given that we had come before them, at least we knew some English at that time, and they needed a lot of help. Community engagement is something that I put forth, and along with my husband, and we engaged other people who were there to join so we can help with ESL, English as a second language, teaching them the bus route, how to ride the bus, so they can get to their job. Sometimes we had to be accompanying them to their job site to help them with on-the-job orientation and training so we can translate. We were very engaged with their lives so they can start integrating fully. We were helping them with school enrollment for their children, so many things. Mm-hmm. I also did that as a career with Catholic Charities Community Services. I was hired as a case worker, case manager, with making sure that we coordinate activities around taking them to medical appointments, and then maybe helping them with other resources they might need, social resources, applying for housing, subsidized housing. I actually helped many families get into their first homes, as home buyers through this program that they called Habitat for Humanity, because it was a program to help people with low income get into, ownership, of homes, and they didn't have to pay interest. Yeah. I was proud of that actually, and then I was getting so many other resources, and then we were helping, other refugees also who were coming. I grew from that position to become a supervisor and then program director. So. Wow. I did that, and then later on in 2008, 9 years later, I was promoted to come here and become the program manager for the Refugee Women's Health Clinic. This clinic here, with the medical director, who is Dr. Johnson Agbak, we both co-founded it. Mm-hmm. So we started from the scratch, designing how we want this to look like. Wow. Of course, there is a chair of this department who had the vision to start doing something new and helping this community of refugees and immigrants who were around this area, and then they were looking like lost. They didn't abide by the medical advice, and then he was searching for people who could come in and help make the women's health overall be a better program that attend to the needs of everyone in a very equitable manner. So we came on board, and then I joined them, and I started designing what they call linguistically appropriate and culturally appropriate health education programs and other services, so we can remove all barriers. It could be language, it could be myths, it could be culture, it could be also it could be also addressing the health disparities that are already present in the host country, because sometimes services may be available, but it doesn't mean that they are accessible. So you will find that people are there, but they don't know who refugees are, they don't know what to do with them, or they simply don't even want to take care of them because they view them as a burden. So our role is to teach them, to provide cultural competency trainings so they can provide quality care to these people, because the refugees are hard workers and they quickly learn, and then they are always eager to change. So many people who come here and they use their hands are very successful. So we want the youth to understand, they do see other youth, being successful. We want all of the youth to follow the same path, because the same youth that is being successful here and the same youth that is thriving here, like what he knows, like citoyen, I would love to see him taking it back home and teaching it to our youth who are just home, who cannot even create. They have no initiatives, they have no sense of responsibility. But him, he's now a man who can take care of his family. Yeah. He's grown to form his family, citoyen, you see here. Yeah. I'm very proud of him. So the youth needs to learn to take initiatives, to be creative, to stop being lazy and just be home, think that people will do for them, because one day no one will do for them and they will be just homeless.
Yeah, I wanna say to people who are listening to us that citoyen is the person who's taking the images, and it's a guy who takes his job very seriously and is always on time. I thank him, and I want to congratulate you, because in the community here, especially in immigrants community, people thank you very much, and they thank you've been very helpful to them, and this makes you proud of yourself, and then our country should be proud of you, because you kind of representing Burundi down here, because when they see your name, they know you're from Burundi. So you've told us a little bit about your journey, and what do you think are the factors that made you who you are today?
My upbringing was one that shaped me. Mm-hmm. Yes. I grew up seeing my mom raising us alone, because we lost our father when we were young children. Mm-hmm. While she was doing that, she never stopped reminding us that the success that we will build sera le défi pour l'ennemi, will be like
the challenge.
The challenge. We will be. It's like if you become successful, That's the only way to challenge your enemy.
Yeah. And then you will desperate because he thought you would be done, but you're still there, alive, and going higher and higher.
Definitely. So, since I was young, I learned to work hard. I learned to be respectful to others. I learned what it means to be responsible. And I learned also to never give up. I have to say that also the fact that we went through war and had to leave the country was also a learning experience. We had to fight for our life. Now that we were outside, we had to make sure that there is something that is special about us because other friends of us died.
Yeah.
So us believing in God too was another thing. Faith. Faith kept us going because we started reflecting and doing a self-discernment of why us and not others. Then we said there is a purpose for us to live, which is to be at the service of others. I enjoy this. Those have been driving factors to move forward, to work and succeed, so we can be the examples and role models for others.
Yeah, for sure. Heading to the end, what would be your message to the African youth?
The African youth need to look up to us, the few of us or the many of us who know something that we can pass on to them. We are inviting them to come to us so we can share our experiences. We can hear from them. We want them to trust us. Sometimes they say, oh, you are from old style. You are old-fashioned. Not knowing that there is always a value to what you call old-fashioned. But you need to take some of it and add to what is good, in the new fashion and make a balance. That's what I want to tell them. Because everything you're picking and learning is not always the right thing to do.
That's true.
Yes, you need to receive guidance. You need to accept criticism. Some of these youth these days, they say, what are you saying? I know. That's all they say, but they don't know. You don't know. You don't know because you are repeating the same mistake over and over and over. Let's begin talking. Yes, you know. Bring what you know. Let me bring what I know. Then we put it in the middle, and we see what we can come up with, because it is those differences that makes us stronger. Great.
The message is clear. And on behalf of Maongozi TV, I want to thank you very much for having taken this time. You offered us a great opportunity, and myself, I'm learning from you. I thank you very much for your time.
No problem, anytime.
Okay.
Thank you.